Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Mind Gap Podcast. Welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. My name is Doug.
And I'm Justin.
And joining us this week on the podcast is none other than the very funny, the very athletic, and the very emotionally mature Matt Lamson. Welcome back.
There are children.
Real quick from the Twitch audience, they say A+ shirt for Matt. So you got support.
Yes. Oh wow. Thanks.
For those listening, he's wearing a Zelda shirt. It's got a nice Triforce on it with the wings and you know, all that other. It's like the Nazi Iron Eagle with the Triforce on top of it. It's classic Zelda.
Yeah, it's the Nazi. Yeah, it's the Nazis of video games. That's what everybody knows Zelda as. Yeah, sorry, I don't really like to talk about my clothes. You guys already saw.
All right, real quick. What's the one piece of clothing that you're most proud of and the one piece of clothing that you're most ashamed of?
Ooh.
Wow. Okay, this is kind of I'm answering both questions with one answer.
Okay.
I own a button-down, long-sleeve collared shirt. It's all black, and it can be casual, it can be dressed up, and I've had it for years, and so I love it, and it looks great to this day. But if you look really, really closely, it is American Eagle Outfitters, which is, you know, like when's the last time anybody here has gone to American Eagle?
I've never gone.
6 months.
Oh.
What? I might have misunderstood the question.
The question was, when was the last time you shopped at American Eagle? Maybe you understood it right.
6 months.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Well,
there we go.
Right into that.
Yep. So that is the one that you're most proud of, but at the same time regret.
Well, because all right, here's the deal. One person made a comment to me one fucking time, and I never let it go. It's, you know, it's a nice shirt. Okay, it's a nice shirt. All right. This is why I don't talk about my clothes. I get riled up. And you know, I was out maybe bowling or doing something in the before times, and somebody was like, "Hey, nice shirt," and they got up nice and close. And they're like, "American Eagle," and then they just like kind of walked away. I was like, "Fuck you! My mom got this for me, and it's nice."
And it fits me good, and I feel special in it.
Yeah, it's my special boy shirt.
My special boy shirt.
Also, okay, no, I'll give you a better answer. I think I hold emotional attachment to articles of clothing, and there's this other T-shirt that I have that's like skin tight, and it's like more plasticky. It's like one of the Avengers. Makes you look like you're Thor.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like, and me and Chris and some other friends will do obstacle course races, and he'll be like Captain America, and somebody else will be Iron Man, whatever. And I'm always like Thor, and it gets vastly different reactions person to person. Like 2 girlfriends ago, she was like, "I love when you wear that shirt," and you know. And then my most recent ex-girlfriend was like, "The fuck are you wearing? You look stupid." It's like.
Is there really much? I mean, there's a lot of things that can make you feel bad, but when someone you trust and care about is like, "You look stupid," like that just cuts to the bone. There's very few things that really are like, "Oh boy."
It depends on how they say it, though, because like there are certain people that if they were to comment on an article of clothing, I would, like Matt, I would hold on to that and I would never let it go. And I would wrestle with, do I get rid of this article of clothing? Do I wear it? Because every time I wear it, I'm going to think of that I'm going to be self-conscious. You spiral. And then there are other people like the Bobs and Hags of the world that if they make fun of me for something, I know I'm on the right track. Like 100%. I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are trying to bust my balls because I look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some people's opinions you just don't trust. You trust the opposite of what they say. It's like when someone recommends a movie to you and you're like, yeah, you have bad taste in movies. So if you're going to recommend it to me, I'm not going to see it. And if you say it's shit, I'm probably going to watch it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Justin, are you wearing a Foo Fighters t-shirt?
Hell yeah, I am.
you lean back a little bit and nothing could be seen. And you're like cool, we believe you.
Oh, that's right. I'm looking at a different camera. Hold on.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That work better?
No,
nice.
Doug, ask me if I'm wearing a Zelda shirt.
Hey, are you wearing a Zelda shirt, Matt?
Yeah.
It's my boy.
I did Justin's bit.
You did. Which, again, for a podcast, visual gags sell.
Yeah, guys, check this out. Okay,
he did some mime stuff. It was incredible.
You know jazz hands? That's amazing.
My gosh.
Oh God. I told myself I wasn't gonna get a hard on in this episode. God.
Hey man, you never know with that. What's the weirdest? What's the weirdest time you got a boner?
Right now. No, you're supposed to do the boy sound.
I thought you were gonna say anytime you wear your American Eagle shirt.
Oh yeah, because I wear that and nothing else. It's just that shirt.
You Winnie the Pooh it?
You Donald Duck it?
I put my cock through the sleeve and then I take the other sleeve and...
You bore at it basically in some form.
Except like, you know, I'm very normal, so like it just goes to about the shoulder. That's about it, you know.
Well, we have so much to get into tonight, but before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. First things first, if you guys don't know, check us out on Spotify. We exist there amongst other places, but don't forget to check us out on Spotify. Also, come join our Discord server, our Mind Gap Discord server. You can find the link on our Twitch page. Come hang out. If you're in the Twitch chat, we'll have good old Nightbot will automatically post it and tell you how to get there. Or if you're just curious, you can't find it, send us a message on any of our social medias. We'll get you invited. We hang out, we talk nerd stuff, we organize game nights, video game nights and things like that. We have a really good time. It's a great community. Come hang out with us. Also, if you don't know, we do a video game stream every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. Last Saturday, I broke out the old Diablo 3 with our very own Slotty. We played that for a little bit. I'm thinking this Saturday, I heard someone in our Discord mention playing some, oh God, why is the game? It's leaving me. I can't think of it. Hold on.
Plymouth Rock?
It's not called Plymouth Rock. It's called Mysterium. Thank you, Slotty. Yes, Mysterium. We're gonna play it on Tabletop Simulator. Hopefully we'll get some people to show up. I think we will. I think we got some takers. It's a great game of just trying to guess some shit that people are laying down. It's really fun. It's one of my favorite actual board games to play. Justin, you've actually played it with me before. And it's a really good time.
I fully remember it too.
So I'm looking forward to that. We're also going to be setting up some more Among Us game nights, as well as some Jackbox games. So come hang out on the Discord and come hang out this Saturday, 8 p.m. Central, twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. Also, Justin, Matt is cool, and I'm so glad he's back, but I think he's back for a reason. What is it?
You know what? That's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Seamless transition. He is the star of we haven't decided yet, either the season finale or the series finale of the Quarantine Files, episode 8, which comes out this coming Friday, the 28th, I believe. Is that right? 27th? 8th? 28th? No, that's
27th.
27th. That's what I said. Yeah, Matt is going to be closing us out for the season. So check that out on YouTube. Tuesday they'll post it to the old tubes of you. What was your experience like, Matt, with this? Matt, actually, he had a very interesting experience because he got to film 2 completely different episodes of the Quarantine Files.
Is one like a secret episode that gets released if we get enough subscribers?
Sure. Why not?
Sure.
Let's make that a thing now.
I have no decision-making power. Yeah. Yeah, well, why not? So the question is, what was my experience?
Yeah, what was it like?
It was good.
Cool. So the 27th, it's gonna
Go
ahead.
I don't know how much do your listeners actually, before I get like how you guys are like pretty famous, right? Don't you have like listeners like all over the world?
Yeah, I mean, we got Jared. He's in Australia right now listening.
Australia for sure.
Okay, cool. So we're global.
Based on our statistics, we actually have gotten a lot of listeners in India. Shocking. So we apparently we're blowing up over there.
And Sean Connery is huge in India, so that's kind of unfortunate, but also exciting. We'll
Yes.
get into that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know how much your listeners are familiar with your 2 East 8th Productions counterpart, Drew. But, just for those of you listening, Drew and I are like super tight. And he just loves, he's so funny. He loves projecting this like bit that we hate each other. It's just like, it's so fun to like confuse people. And so the whole like sketch that we're in, or the series or season finale, it kind of it plays around, us hating each other and him trying to make me look stupid, which like, come on, you can't do that. I'm too cool.
Look at him. You can't do that.
Anyway, yeah, it was interesting getting to do 2 because like the first one, whether or not you guys end up releasing it, it was a biopic. So I won't say too much more else about that. But
I mean, we can actually go it because we used part of that in another episode, in Christy Alsop's episode, the document. I think it was the documentary.
You guys used 2 clips then.
Yes, so we've repurposed. It wasn't just a wash, that we've repurposed that episode. So it was a biopic about Sean Connery where we casted Matt as a young Sean Connery, but he couldn't do the accent, didn't really know who Sean Connery was. And the concept was really funny when we were talking about it and writing it out. Then we shot it, and not that there's a lot of stuff grounded with this series, but like it was just too unbelievable that would actually be a thing these producers tried to do. And then Sean ended up dying. So we were like, you know what? Maybe we don't.
Yeah.
If you guys had any artistic integrity, you would have said, fuck that dead man, and you would have just released it anyway because you're doing art. And art sometimes flies in the face of people and it hurts their feelings, but it makes them feel something, because that's what you do as an artist.
Oh, that's so good. We're still working on getting that sneeze, right?
Here we go. I think I got it.
It's just the only reason I ask for that effect is because a trick that I have taught myself in quarantine is I've taught myself to sneeze out my ass.
Nice.
And
I like it.
Justin's probably laughing because he probably thinks like, oh, he just means farting. I know I'm serious. Like I've taught myself to sneeze out of my ass, just so like, when you're in public, even when you have your mask on, it's still like uncomfortable when have you guys done this where you put your shirt above your mask and cover it still, like just to make it safer, I sneeze out my ass now, but
that's good.
Yeah, so
it's impressive.
For the record, Slotty said that was less of a sneeze than a Hadouken, that sound effect, so that's pretty close.
I'm glad we're getting to the meat of the experience of filming for Justin.
Yeah.
The first shoot, the biopic, just like every take, Justin would like give me like notes or like style choices or like coaching, and I just like I guess it didn't feel right, and like I was doing my best, and at the end, like, okay, this feels good, and it just didn't shake out, and sometimes that happens. And then this last one that we filmed, like everything just like flowed really easily, and it just like fit my style of comedy, and it was really really fun, and it was I think it was just even more well written, like the comedy was just great. So I'm really really pleased with how this one turned out, and I've seen all of them, I think, except for the most recent one. So the last one I saw was the one with Chris in it, and there's one more after him.
There's 2 in between.
2 more. Yeah.
Okay, 2 more. So I got to catch up with 2 of them, but I've liked all of them so far, and I'm really pleased with how this one turned out too.
Awesome.
No, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we're real excited to have that launch or release on Friday. So make sure you guys check that out. You bring up an interesting what you've learned in quarantine. There's I've been meaning to bring this up for a few weeks, and that made me think of it, is that I have a tendency to talk to myself like when I'm outside. Do you guys talk to yourself at all?
I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, but like not just like internal thoughts, like you talk to yourself, like where your mouth is moving and you're actually talking out loud.
I did today. I was like trying to be like, think of what to say in an email. I just said one word. Most of it was in my head, but I just said one word out loud, and my daughter's in my room. She goes, "What?" I go, "What?" She goes, "You just said that." I go, "Oh, I'm doing work." Like, I didn't even realize that I did it. So yeah, all the time.
The wearing the mask has been like a gift because you can talk to yourself all day and no one notices. So like I'm out walking Abby and I'm just going through like lines of dialogue that I might want to do, or just spouting off nonsense, just talking out loud, and no one knows that I'm talking. And I feel like it's going to bite me in the ass when the quarantine's over and we take the masks off, because I feel like I'm so used to like the protection of like being hidden that I'm just going to be walking around like one of those crazy people in Chicago, just chatting up a storm, and people are just going to be watching this crazy handsome young guy, walking around downtown.
Dude, for sure, there's going to be a period of like unraveling, or maybe that's the wrong word, but like relearning or readjusting. Like, so I'm quarantining myself right now, and I think I'm trying to do is watch all the Harry Potter movies, just one a day for the next week.
Nice.
And in the first one, when he is going into Gringotts Bank to get his money so he can buy his stuff, I'm just like, he doesn't have his fucking mask on. And it's just like, that's my instinct now, is to think that, which is kind of scary. But I think it'll take probably like a year to like undo all of that. I don't know.
I know what you mean. Like it's I think we had talked about this kind of a few months ago, but the idea of just art in general is going to change. Like, you're going to be able to see movies, TV shows, whatever, photos of a lot of people together, and you're gonna be like, well, that was pre-COVID. Like, you can easily tell that. Like, I watch movies where there's just a shit ton of people around each other. I'm like, I get a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, no, you don't have a mask on. There's too many people close together. Like, this is really dangerous. You shouldn't be doing that. And it gives me, because I think it's also, we talked about this too, like what art will be created from this, right? What's scary now, versus what it was 2 years ago. What's scary now is actually people being together, right? As opposed to being like, most horror tropes are like, don't split up. Now it's like, split up or we're gonna die. Like, those are the kinds of things that are more terrifying now. So it kind of flips that cultural thing on its head a little bit, which makes it pretty interesting. And what's comedy look like? How's that stuff shift based on what's happening right now? I think it's, I don't know, without trying to sound insensitive, like, it's kind of fascinating just to see how our art reflects real life.
Dude, totally. I think comedy will, not that it's gone right now or anything, but like I feel like it's going to come back even better because of, like, if you think about this, like when lockdown started and everybody started doing stuff like this in virtual, and like SNL sucked, when they did their Zoom show, and like everybody's trying to do yeah, right. But like, there are people that are trying to perfect ways to still be very funny with all of the barriers that we face when you can't like have comedic timing, and people are getting better at this part of it. So then people who are honing their craft then in a year or 2 years from now, when we can kind of get back onto a stage, and now you have that added element of like timing and physicality and stuff like that, I think it's just going to be even better. People are going to be like craving it so much. Like, somebody told me this the other day. It was like the whole like roaring 20s in the 1920s. There was the Spanish flu, and then everything was so like society was flourishing because they came back from it. I'm like really, really hoping that happens. That would be so. That would be nice.
And going along with that is people just are surprisingly innovative when it comes to this sort of stuff. Like just what people are able to do in the absence of the normal way of doing things. And not only that, on the other side of it, the things that I'm always looking for is the way that we break down barriers. You know, there's like this path that you had to be on to perform before, right? You had to be on a stage, you had to go to this place or that place, and you had to log in your time there. Well, now it's like those places are closed, but funny people still exist. And in fact, funny people are being noticed. Like, I don't know if you follow Sarah Cooper at all on Twitter, but she is the woman who has basically just been doing lip syncs to Trump stuff.
Right. Yeah.
She has her own show now because she was doing those and she just did them so well that it just picked up steam. It's like people are finding ways to communicate and to get their content out there, where it's like, oh, like Twitch, for example, has obviously boomed in the pandemic because people are home. I mean, it's helped our show in a sense of like, oh, we can up our production value. We could have lots of guests because they don't have to physically be in the room with us.
Right.
You know, it's kind of opened up the doors a little bit to what we can do as a possibility as well. So I'm constantly impressed by what people are able to come up with, and also just anytime we can sort of take a shot at the establishment and we realize that a lot of things were there just because they were there, they're not needed. That always gives me a little bit of like pleasure. Just to see that be like, yeah, you guys were just a barrier and we didn't need you. And now we can forge our new way somewhere else where we'll then create more barriers in that new path. And then we'll hopefully find a way to get around those.
Dude, I mean, it's true. Like, people are adaptable. And, like, this is such a hardcore quote. But, some, like, 18th century author, this is their phrase. And it kind of, like, holds true, I think, in a way. Where it's like, good times breed soft men breed bad times breed hard men bring good times, and it's like this cycle. And I feel like right now we're in the bad times, and so we're all getting hard, and
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Yes,
yeah, motherfucker.
there it is
I think it's super true though.
Oh, so good.
But I think that's super true. Like that's it. Whatever you're going through, the thing that follows is always kind of, I feel like, counter, because the pendulum has to swing. Yeah.
No, it's true. I've heard that, a couple of non-experts just sort of pontificate about the state of things. But they're like, when was the last time?
Like us?
Yeah, we fall in that category. But the idea that when was the last time we as a civilization really faced something really hard, or even more specifically the U.S. What was the last really hard thing we faced? I mean, in our country, was it the Great Depression? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there's been difficult things. I'm not minimizing any sort of racial injustice or poverty or things like that. But as a collective, like, holy shit, this is going down situation. Yeah. I mean, that was coming up on almost 100 years ago? I mean, and even then, let's give it an extra 20 years. Okay, 60 to 80 years? Like, we've had it relatively smooth for a long time. So when I hear that quote of like, good times bring soft people, like, I kind of get that. We get accustomed to things like, my internet went out. I can't watch my shows. Like, when I was in the middle of a call with my boss a week or two ago, in middle of the day, Comcast goes, we're just going to shut off the internet and do routine maintenance. I was like, what the fuck? Right. I'm trying to work. What are you doing? My day is fucked. Or I think, the idea of losing my internet gives me anxiety, because I'm like, I can't play games. I can't stream. I can't do anything. What am I supposed to do? And, the idea of like, that is what's most important to me in that moment. It's pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah, like we definitely had it good. Oh, hey, you guys want to guess my blood oxygen level?
Yes. Here we go. 100.
That's a really
40.
Hold on.
I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know what a good measure is.
It's 100. It's 100.
No, so like really good would be like 97 or 98, I think.
Yeah.
40.
100.
I'm sitting at 97.
Ah, so close.
I guess
Price is Right rules.
I'm having a really good time, so my heart rate is jacked the fuck up. What do you guys think my heart rate's at?
140 over 80.
No, we're looking 71, 72.
That's right.
Yeah. I have a resting heart rate of 10.
You're dead inside. The crazy shit can be happening, but your hand is still steady. This man's a sniper.
I would love to go on a fucking audition for like a talent agency and do that, but just be shaky as fuck. Man.
My hand still.
And then
like, he's perfect for Doctor. He's perfect for Doctor Strange. He's like, Literally just watched that before I came up here. But you know, speaking of Comcast, did you know that Comcast just today, or at least it was trending today, announced that they're going to cap all of their customers' internet usage at 1.2 terabytes per month.
So if you read the article, it said in the Northeast, and that there's already a bunch of caps on other people.
I have a cap of that amount.
Right.
Wow.
So it's not everybody.
Everybody's getting it.
People already have it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. And now they're getting everybody.
That's what I'm talking about.
See, Matt gets it. That's math.
Yeah. No, I farted out my nose.
Guys, he ran into a door the other day. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
He's having some trouble.
And now it switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the concern with that too is just because that already existed. Again, it already existed for me, and now with the pandemic, to sort of like add to that and to not. I mean, they do give you a courtesy month of going over without charging you. They let you know that you'll get one freebie. Everyone gets one. Everybody gets one, and then they charge you. Which it's no secret I don't like Comcast. I super mega loathe them, and I think what I dislike the most is that I don't have any options. I have to go with them, and that's the part that sucks, because they know you have to go with them, and because they know that, they don't try very hard. They do whatever the fuck that they want. They can have shitty customer service. They can just be shitty. They can be bad, and it doesn't matter, because what are you going to do? You got to go right back to them, and that's what I don't like. That is the core piece of that piece of shit company known as Comcast.
Matt is doing the beatnik snapping.
Yes.
Was that a cow?
It was a very, very, very soft Peter Griffin saying.
Oh wow. Oh.
Yeah, I've had multiple experiences with Comcast where they've just been the absolute just piece of shit, like just nonsense after nonsense after nonsense. I'm like, and I think for me, it's just the idea that there's no justice with this sort of stuff, because I don't have a choice. I have to go with them. There's nothing else in my area. I have to use them. I'm like, that sucks.
Really? There's no other providers?
No other providers. Like, it's what I have to roll with. So.
Wow.
Justin.
Sorry.
Oh wow.
No, I mean, it does. It sucks. That's why they got rules about monopolies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of
that's why that game sucks.
Yeah.
The game fucking blows.
It does blow.
So what's the first topic? What's the first topic of the show?
Now that I've gotten that off my chest, cool. What are we talking about?
Doug really, really wanted to get that in there before. before we got too far.
Hey,
down
we'd
the
already
rabbit
mentioned
hole.
Comcast and stuff. It just naturally felt good to just sort of slip that in there.
Can we slam large corporations? I fucking hating Nabisco, man. They're-
Nestle,
man.
Nestle is buying up all the fucking water. They're buying it all up, man. It's a water race, and they're winning.
Oh, do you guys hear something about like Coors spiked seltzers are saving rivers? Have you heard about this?
No.
No.
Okay, get somebody on the computer, okay? Because I saw it somewhere. You guys have people, right? I heard you guys say something about like a ferry.
What is this, Coors Seltzer?
Kevin. We have Kevin. Kevin the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want Kevin on this. I want
Oh no, not
Scotty
Kevin.
or Sammy or whoever else.
Oh, Slotty.
No. Slotty! Yeah.
Slotty,
Is
yeah,
his
that's
first
the
name
one.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Coors Seltzer is on a mission to save America's rivers. New seltzer brand committing to restore 1 billion gallons of water in the next year alone, and will kick off its mission by making America's seltzer craze water neutral, footing the bill on 175,000 12-packs to restore the volume of seltzer consumed this summer.
Yeah. So next topic.
Moving on! Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's the Thanksgiving episode. Did
It's
you?
like the worst guest ever, just like totally
No.
just trying to like the job.
Hey,
All
you
right.
got an agenda?
Keep moving.
We're here to meet that agenda. We got you. Thanksgiving. Hey, are you sitting down with your
That's like- I
family?
didn't study for Comcast. I studied for Thanksgiving. All right.
Oh no, I didn't study for anything. I was just trying to skip the. It's like you sent me an email with a bunch of links, and I said I'm gonna go on. Not.
Pornhub.com. Here I come.
Yeah, man. Porn's not gonna watch itself, you know.
That's right.
So all you there? Are you sitting down with your family? Are you having some food? Are you sharing some turkey? Maybe a little bit of mashed potatoes? Are you saying, man, must be what the Pilgrims and the Native Americans did way back in 1600? Go fuck yourself. Because you know what? It's a lie. It's a myth. It ain't true. Justin, lay the truth on him.
Yeah. There's a lot of raping and pillaging. And happy Thanksgiving.
All right.
Yeah, so it's come to...
I'll say this. When you say lay the truth on them, there's a very long article that we came with. I don't know what part of the truth you want me to
It's a
to lay
myth.
on 'em.
What's the myth,
Yes.
Justin? What's the Thanksgiving myth?
The myth is that they all landed on Plymouth Rock, and then there was a table that was laid out, and there was a cornucopia on the table, and the Pilgrims
played
came off and
cornhole?
yes, exactly. They played cornhole. People came over from Ohio, and they watched the Ohio State game that day, and they had a good time.
That sounds fun. I like this
Yeah.
history.
It was that's how I teach history when I teach children.
Wait, you're a Zoom bomber, but you just jump in on like you just jump in on like school classes that are history class. Yeah, shut the hell up. Whatever your teacher was telling you. This was how Thanksgiving started.
8th grade social studies. That's what I do.
Sir, it's April. Yeah, well, you're going to learn about Thanksgiving today. Fuck Arbor Day.
Look here, you dodgy cunt. You're listening to Thanksgiving. That's the myth, is that everyone, for those who, are not listening from the States, that, Pilgrims came over from Europe. They landed at Plymouth Rock. They walked off with pre-baked turkeys and hams. They laid that on the table. The Native Americans came up and they brought corn, and everyone sat down and went, oh, this is lovely. Not what happened.
Wait, people believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you have any recollection of what you were taught in high school? Because I distinctly remember in second grade half the class making little pilgrim hats out of construction paper, and the other half making Native American headdresses and feathers, and we all hung out in class and we're like, we're together, happy Thanksgiving. And it's like, that shit didn't happen.
Wow. I don't know why I feel like I was taught the truth, or I don't know if my memory is just like being a kid. They're like, yeah, people came over and they brought disease. Okay. So a lot of people died. And there was fighting, but it was okay. But then they had dinner, and the Native Americans showed us. They showed us how to make corn, and that was like the big takeaway. It's like, oh, we got corn.
Well, at least you got the first part of it, which was like there was fighting and disease, because that's a huge part of it. Like, I was just told the Pilgrims came over because they couldn't practice their religion. People were being real dickholes, and they came over and they were like, hey, we're here. And then the Native Americans are like, we feel bad for them. They don't know how to fend for themselves, so we're going to bring them corn. And then they got along. It's just, you know, interesting thing from this article, too, was that Thanksgiving wasn't celebrated until 1863. That was like when it was first launched. It's, you know, version 1.0 of Thanksgiving. And it wasn't universally received by everyone. The South didn't celebrate it for many decades after the fact. So it's a relatively recent holiday. And it's definitely been one of those things where it's just like a lot of that sort of history just sort of kind of gets like, it's been 200 years. No one remembers that we killed them off, both intentionally and non-intentionally. Unintentionally, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I agree with you, man. I was dramatizing what we were taught a little bit. We definitely had it. It was a much more sanitized version of what actually happened that we were taught in school. Like we didn't get taught the full horror that we wrought on the native people of this land.
So they put
But
like,
like
rather than say like they brought disease, they're like, okay, like we brought the germs from over here, and they brought
right.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, we didn't get along, but you know, we found ways to kind of collaborate, and they taught us how to farm, and we taught them about, I don't know, technology. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, I know,
Guns. Here's guns. We're
right?
Europeans. But like it was a much more symbiotic lesson that we were taught than what actually happened. And it, as we were prepping this and thinking about it, like I was thinking back to earlier this year when there were calls for teaching teaching the realities of what slavery was. And again, like not whitewashing the history of this country. And it just amazes me that we're still teaching these myths, and like this myth of Thanksgiving and the myth of, and you're doing this cute art projects. And I don't think we should take, you know, kindergartners and explain to them the full horrors of what happened by any stretch of the imagination. But it's interesting that people still glom on to the romanticized version of it, you know?
Dude, really fucking nice use of glom.
Anytime I can slip that into conversation, it makes me sound smart.
Dude, I'm just such a fan of good vocab. I'm really impressed with you right now. Here's a myth that I used to spread about Thanksgiving. So there stand-up comedy, because that form of it I'm very bad at. And when I tried it out for like 2 years right out of school, one of the first jokes I ever told was like, you know why Americans are obese? Because when we met the Native Americans, they showed us corn, and you know, we shit all that corn out, and we thought, oh, it came to this new land, all our food goes right through us. And then I would wait for the applause, and then it never came, and I was like, just wait longer. And then so my 5-minute stand-up set turned into 30 seconds of that, and then 4.5 minutes of just waiting for them to laugh at that joke. So yeah, there's a reason I don't do stand-up.
Hey man, I'll give you this much. You've done more stand-up than I have. I don't have the courage to do that, nor the desire. So kudos to you, sir. You gave it a shot.
See, but you would be looked at then now as one of the alt comedians.
Yeah.
Who like tells one shitty punchline and then does 4.5 minutes of uncomfortable just eye contact with the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys get it.
Finally, my people, you understand my sensibilities. You get it.
You get it.
Have you guys ever seen, yeah, just like breathing into the mic. Yeah.
Think on it.
Yes, because they think that if they just eat stuff, it's just gonna.
You guys understand that corn is in the poop when it comes out, right? Yeah.
You want to see something? Whoa!
There's corn in there. So this stand-up special, Dave Chappelle got weird.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, I just stole that from Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny. Jared says, "Isn't the real meaning of Thanksgiving trampling others to get a good bargain on a flat screen TV?"
Now that is what it's all about.
Yes.
Have you guys ever participated in Black Friday?
No.
Never? I've done it once, and it was horrendous.
I think it was 2 years ago. I was at doing Thanksgiving at my parents' house over in Missouri, which is also why I probably got that very whitewashed education about the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, because Missouri, they're special. But I remember I just was going and picking up a couple last minute things at Walmart, last minute supplies, and it was either early on Thanksgiving Day or whatever, the day before, whatever it was. And already they were like, I got to see like it sort of being the Black Friday being produced. There was these areas where they had giant pallets of stuff, and it was like all saran wrapped together, and it was like, this doesn't go on sale until X time, and there's just stuff all throughout. They were roping off certain areas, and there were already people waiting like to get these deals. And I'm sitting there going like, I just don't give a shit. Like, why would you wait all night to get a TV for $500? Like, it just, this is the same feeling I get when I go to Costco. Like, there's just this sense of like, I'm getting a deal, and people are just like ravenous in the way that they go about it, because people love a deal, you know, and they're just like, and they're like animals. They're fucking animals. I leave Costco angry every time, because people don't understand how to walk and maneuver in a store once they get into Costco. Everything's bigger. You got bigger aisles. You got bigger stuff that you can buy. There's deals, but they just aimlessly veer and wander. And there's just this sense of like, I gotta get all the good deals or they're not gonna be here tomorrow. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to get a pound of Cheerios. Get the fuck out of the way, you know?
Dude, it'd be way better if it was like every single person had a story like in Jingle All the Way, how Arnold Schwarzenegger is specifically trying to get Turbo Man for his son, and like it's like that's so personal to him. And like if every single person that lined up for Black Friday like had a story like that, but it's not. It's just like, you know, I want to get shit for cheap, and I bet you a lot of people take it and resell it on Amazon or whatever. But like, you know, I would be able to get behind it if like it's the type of person who is camping out because their sick daughter wants this, you know, like My Little Pony collectible limited release. But, you know, how many of those cases exist? I don't know.
No, that's a fair point. That could exist. That could exist.
But for the most part, it's just a bunch of assholes, yeah.
I would love to take like a small little film crew and just walk down the people waiting outside and ask all of them, what's your Jingle All the Way story? Why are you here?
What's your Jingle All the Way story? That's the hashtag. Hi, I'm Justin Strandlin, and I'm here interviewing our Black Friday shoppers. You, sir, what are you here for? Get the fuck out of my face.
All right.
All right.
All right.
No, I think to me there's little more like I don't know if there's a whole lot more unattractive look than someone that is just like salivating over a deal. You know, like just that is such a gross thing for me that people are like, I gotta get this deal, you know?
Yeah.
So bargain shoppers.
To a certain extent. Because here's the thing. There's a fine line between being thrifty and frugal and being like, I'm going to buy this just because it's a deal. Because I look at people that are thrifty or like, I want to get this and I need this, but I'm going to get a good price for it versus, hey, this is, if I buy 5 of these, I get $2 off. It's like, yeah, but that's mustard. Do you need 5 bottles of mustard? They're like, but I get $2 off if I get 5 of them. It's like, we don't need 5. It's like, but I get $2 off. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, we don't need that much mustard.
Doug, just because I'm watching the Harry Potter series right now, I imagine what your boggart would be. And if you don't know what a bogart or a boggart,
I know what a boggart is.
For people listening, a boggart is like a creature that lives in a box, and when you open the box, it takes the form of the thing that you fear the most in life. And for Doug, it would just be Howie Mandel from Deal or No Deal, like going around a department store, just like looking at things, being like, inspecting the tags, and he's got like a button with the Deal or No Deal, but he's like, Deal or No, and he's just going up and down the aisles.
I think my boggart would be conflict. That's probably what it would be. Just conflict. It's someone coming out. Hey, Doug, I need to talk to you about this this issue we had at work. And I'd be like, ridiculous,
Nice. Oh, you knew the counter curse. That's
do.
Great.
I absolutely do. Yeah.
That's great.
We've had. Go ahead, Matt, please.
This is a very stupid thought. And obviously, Doug, it sounds like you're very familiar with Harry Potter. Justin, have you seen all the movies or the books? So in the very first movie, Hagrid, buys this dragon's egg because somebody sells it to him to get him drunk and uncover the secrets about Fluffy, right? And the kids are going to talk to Hagrid at one point in his hut, and Hagrid's sitting outside playing the flute, and he's playing the Harry Potter theme song.
I never noticed that.
I was like, this motherfucker is like, it's so meta. It's just like, could you imagine if like Darth Vader is like walking down through stormtroopers and some stormtroopers just shredding? Yeah, like fucking like I would love to see that happen in more movies. It was very
right. Like if they walked into the cantina and that band was just playing the actual Star Wars theme.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the Cantina song. I'm like, no, that's kind of the point of what they were doing is they're playing the Cantina song.
But like it's in the movie, so they would be playing it. It'd be weird, right?
Right? Yeah. It's like, you know, it's the thing,
Hey, can I get some blue milk?
Like, whoa, that's a very very proud and noble song that you're playing there for Cantina. A bunch of undesirables.
Order of blue milk.
But there's aliens grinding to it.
It's the disco version of
it. It may as well be like Versace on the Floor by Bruno Mars. Just pure sex.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
We have had in the chat on Twitch, we've had 3 or 4 different people demand this. So, Doug, you were saying that you hate Costco and people who are horny for deals, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Stuff is stupid, stuff is dumb. Doug hates stuff.
I think I'm on like a 3 or 4 episode streak with that.
You're on a streak, man. Yeah, and the thing is, I've taken my finger off the button. It's the Twitch audience demands it now.
Yeah, I mean, early on, Jared was like, "Play the song."
Stuff.
Yeah.
Catchy.
Yeah. We've had multiple people request that as like a ringtone.
What do you
Uh-oh. I think I'm losing you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm here.
There we go.
There you are.
Okay.
I'm here.
Ask it again.
I'll say, what do you like?
Oh man. I mean,
great question.
I like a good story.
The list is shorter for sure.
I like a good story. Love a good story, right? I like video games. I like food.
Unless it's a story about someone going to Costco and getting a good deal, then no.
That's not a good story. That's dog shit. It's a dog shit story. I like the Avengers. I like Neil Gaiman. I like the Sandman.
I want to pause you real quick. I just wish that, however, I don't know how much longer we have, like half hour, 45, an hour. It's just Doug listing things for 45 minutes.
It's like that, bit from Forrest Gump. Just in that same tone. I'm just listing all the things that I like, all the different things.
No, but in Forrest Gump, they like cut away and cut back. But for we let you go.
We commit to the bit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You just see me leave frame, and then I come in through Matt's door, and we go and hang out for a while. And
you're
then,
like, it's like, we're out. We're done here.
Yeah. Oh my.
That's a fair question. I get very passionate. Like I have these very big flare-ups of things that just really they get to me, and I feel like this is my therapy. I get to talk about them. because that's good, right? Because that's what people want to hear is some bald white guy complain about the things he doesn't like.
Let me tell you what's my stuff.
Yeah.
People say that. Yeah, that's a
they
phrase.
do. It's totally something that they say and do.
Tell you what's my stuff.
Let me tell you what my stuff is, you piece of shit.
Can you?
So we've got this Thanksgiving myth. It's propagated throughout our culture. We keep, the collective we keep it going. Why do you think this cheerful myth lives on? Like, what is it about it that, like, people are like, oh yeah, this is something that, I mean, we all heard some version of this. Mine was a little more cheery than your guys's, but still it existed to some degree. It's like, hey, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, they were buddies. And Thanksgiving, yada yada. Why do you think that still exists or the story keeps being told?
Because Missouri still exists.
It's true.
Like the people who believe that the Earth is flat still believe that. People who, let's get fucking political. The people who, paid bail for Kyle Rittenhouse claiming he was self-defense. Why does any of that exist? Okay, like I can abide a fucking 6-year-old thinking that Native Americans and the Pilgrims, had a dinner time, but eventually they've got to move to the big city and see the world for what it is. I don't know.
No, that's fair. I mean, part of it is just like it becomes a truth, right? That's what you just assume that it's true because that was so long ago. You're like, yeah, this is a tradition we do today, and on paper, Thanksgiving makes sense. I think it makes sense in concept of we're gonna take a day, we're gonna have a meal together, and we're gonna celebrate, each other and our gratitude for things that we have and people that we have in our life. Like it's a really beautiful concept. It's been bastardized to the point where it's like, how much do you think you can eat? How much of that stuffing do you think you could stuff inside me? It turns into this new thing that, gets propagated and then turns into something that you find on Pornhub, where it's like, welcome to the 2020 gravy games, on Pornhub, and it just gets.
I don't like the sound of that.
You're going to like the way it looks. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck me, slutty.
Here we go.
Wait, did that say slutty or?
Good question. Good question. We don't know.
Wait. Can you hit it again?
Fuck me, slutty.
So who's your computer guy's name? Slotty?
So that's our Jared, our guy from Australia, saying, fuck me, slotty. But he said it in such a come hither way.
Yeah. His delivery of it is very questionable.
What is slotty?
It's short for his screen name, which is Slutty Bartfast.
SLATI, Slotty Bartfast.
Oh.
Which is, I think, from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right?
Correct.
Oh, nice. Oh, great.
Yes.
This is fun.
We did it! Yay!
So
yeah, I think the myths persist because for the same reason that, again, for the same reason that history has been morphed and whitewashed as far as like slavery goes and civil rights and women's rights and all the other atrocities that have happened. It kind of just gets it gets that marketing PR spin put on it, and traditions hold fast, and white people have ruled for so long that we just tell the story like we want to hear it. And I think people are so tradition bound in this country. They love the traditions, and it's real hard to let go of that and actually hear something other than what you know to be true. Like if you hear a fact or a piece of truth that runs counter to what you assume to be true, like immediately you go into this rage mode and you're like, false, nope, no, not my truth. And that's how we are where we are today with fake news.
What traditions do you guys have, or have you had within your families that you still carry on, or are there traditions that you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore?
Oh man. Christmas time is the absolute it's pardon me, it's a magical time for me because growing up I was an only child, And so I was showered with gifts and, made to like my parents forced me to believe in Santa Claus like as long as humanly possible.
Forced you.
Dude, I want to say forced. I want to say they perpetuated the illusion, like the Truman Show, right? Like they did their fucking best to like dispute any evidence to the contrary. Even in like 6th grade, they would still have like an uncle of mine. You're like 11 in 6th
Wow.
grade. I had an uncle, call the house with a voice modulator and be like, "I just flew by your window and saw your baseball trophy." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That's horrifying. If you think about that from like a very like literal standpoint, they had someone. That's what murderers do. Serial killers do. Like they'll call up and voice change.
But it was my mom would hand me the phone and be like, "It's Santa for you," So I'd be like, "Oh, great! It's just a person I trust telling me that." But I hear what you're saying. But like, they either way, it was just like this magic thing for very long. And then also we had these family traditions of as I got older, we did white elephant, which I think a lot of families do that differently, but we specifically did tacky gifts, like you would try to find I guess that's what it is. So
absolutely,
we would try to find the things that were just absolute garbage and vote on the worst thing. And then that was so much fun because my family on my dad's side would get involved and they were drunk and rowdy. And every single year we would get my Uncle Earl antique cheese boards. And he was an antiques dealer, and so he hated these things so much. He would take them into our garage and get my dad's like axe and like destroy them.
That's what came up in your sketch. You pulled that from real life. Okay.
Dude, the whole sketch I wrote, all of that was based on my life. None of that was written.
Yeah.
So Doug, I don't know if you saw it, but we did a sketch called The Lamson Family Christmas on one of our Chris and Matt shows forever ago, and it didn't really land because I think people were just like, what is happening? But I just I basically just wanted to portray exactly what my Christmas experience was.
Amazing.
If you want to see it, it's up on YouTube. Just search the Chris and Matt show and you can find the Lamson Family Christmas.
Nice. That's so cool. So Christmas is, there was a lot of great traditions. Is that still today? Does that exist for you? Like,
so it's been
Christmas?
a while, as we've gotten older, I'm 30 now and all of my cousins on that side are older than me. So the oldest cousin, is married and has 2 kids and they have a house out in Pittsburgh. So it's hard to get everybody back together. We were going to do like a reunion this year, and then that's just looking more and more bleak. But yeah, we at the very least, the few family members that we can get together, we do Chinese food on Christmas Eve because half of the family is Jewish, and that's just like a Jewish tradition is to do Chinese food on Christmas. And we just get really, really drunk, and there's like arm wrestling matches. I don't know how that started.
That's amazing.
And of course, as of 2 years ago, finally have been able to talk my family out of ordering Chinese food in a racist Chinese accent. Up until about like a couple years ago, they would get drunk and call and do the voice, like asking for, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, as of 2 years ago, I've been able to get them to stop.
So there's a tradition.
Yeah,
there's a holdover tradition that you're super glad you were able to help break.
No worry, I'll do it for you. Here's the accent.
Hello! I'd like to order some chow mein.
Is that what they did?
I wish.
As Matt starts tearing up,
He's like, Thing was, they did a racist Santa voice. That's what they did.
Wait. What's racist Santa? Because he's white. Where does he come from? Is he
he does. Santa does a racist voice. So he tries to order as a Chinese person, as Santa.
Wow.
There's a meta.
2 layers, baby. 2 layers.
I just imagine pervy Santa calls up. Yeah, hi. You want to place an order for the welcome garden? Have you been naughty or nice? Okay. Pick up our delivery.
Santa has needs, baby. You naughty or nice.
He's got to get taken care of too,
Right.
Oh my God. So yeah, that's my awesome, crazy, weird family. What about you guys?
We for a while we did a similar with my extended side of my dad's family. We used to do like a tacky white elephant thing, but then there was an element of stealing or trading. So you could either
Oh yeah.
pick a new present or you could take someone else's, and they had to, and there was always a few nice presents in there and a few real stinkers. And so it was this real like manipulation game. And then families would get like subsections of families would get involved. So like my aunt and my dad would team up, and like if someone stole something from my dad, my aunt would steal it back and then he could grab it from her. Like it was very House of Cards, very fucking weird. And eventually that side of the family, kind of same thing. Like it started getting so big, and it was almost, we were forced to kind of fraction off and have smaller pods that started to create their own traditions, because after a while it just gets unruly. You know, like some of your cousins will have 4 kids themselves, and then those kids grow up, and it gets way too much. The other tradition that I thought was hysterical, and I still love, I think some of the family still does it. We don't typically attend anymore, but for the 4th of July, one of my aunts or uncles had a big house in the Quad Cities, and they would host the whole family. Then we would do fireworks at night, and someone went across the border and got illegals. But we would do a Mexican food buffet on the 4th of July, which I always thought was hysterical for some reason. Like tacos and homemade salsa and enchiladas, and people would bring, none of us are of Mexican heritage, but like everyone brought like their favorite recipe, Mexican. It was the weirdest thing, but I always thought that was a fun tradition.
It sounds awesome.
It was amazing.
That's
Doug,
cool,
what about you, man?
I honestly I can't really remember a whole lot of traditions. I don't do a whole lot of traditions now. Nothing that I can think of. I mean, we had just basic stuff like growing up, like Christmas Eve was we get to open one present and we'd have a meal and whatever. And it was, you know, that sort of stuff. I don't recall a whole lot of like really noteworthy traditions or stuff that we did. Yeah, nothing.
There were a couple weird things that like dissipated, or you know, over the years it just kind of stopped showing up. But there was one where like it was like December 8th, or I think it's like, you know, St. Nicholas's Day or whatever. You would like put your shoes outside, and then the next day they'd be filled with candy or something. Like what the fuck made that up? You know, and there was another one where we had an ornament for a Christmas tree that was just like a pickle, and you would like somebody would like hide it in the tree, and the first kid to like find the pickle would get like an extra present. Who the fucking comes up with it? You know?
We've
like,
talked about hide the pickle. We've already talked about that. The Christmas pickle.
The Christmas pickle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Years ago, I think in year 1, when we were doing this, Justin was talking. He was like, "You familiar with the Christmas pickle?" I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And we do this.
He thought I was leading into something very different.
Yeah, and it was like, but then we did this awesome like German accent. We were pretending, you know, about hiding the pickle, but because it was German, there really wasn't a pickle. And they're like, "You cannot open your Christmas presents until you find the pickle," and they can't find it. They're like, "Go to bed," you know, like that was it because there was no pickle. So
as Dad sits back and eats a pickle sandwich, they'll never find.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was amazing.
I don't know why I just imagine in place of the pickle, there's just a cup of hot black coffee inside the tree. Some kid accidentally just spills on his head. Ow!
Stay away from the tree!
Oh, Klaus gets to open the first present. He burnt his hands on the coffee.
You get the booby prize.
You see, when you fly too close to the pickle.
He starts just telling the story of Prometheus for some reason. Like he's like, he flew to Icarus. My bad.
Yeah.
He does both because they both mean a lot to him.
Ridley Scott movie?
No, Icarus. No. He had it right. Icarus,
Space.
Icarus flew too close to the sun. Prometheus flew too close to the pickle.
Yes, exactly what it was.
Yes,
exactly. Don't fly too close to the pickle.
I can't believe I'm just remembering this now. It's been several years since I've actually done this with my parents, but my favorite tradition of all of it was kind of like the beginning of Christmas season, and for us, it's the day after Thanksgiving. And so every year, the day after Thanksgiving, we would get up and we would go to a tree farm where we would get onto a horse-drawn, literally like tractor trailer type thing. These two Clydesdales would pull out into the deep woods of these Christmas trees, and we would get a saw and we would cut one down and we would drag it back. And then at this tree farm they had this little like inside shop area with like train sets that would go all around, and they would give you free hot chocolate and you'd buy an ornament, and it was like this amazing like whole experience. And then we would go home, put it up, decorate it, listen to Vince Guaraldi's trio Charlie Brown Christmas, the whole like album, and have, when I was underage, sparkling cider while my parents would have drinks, and then we would make nachos. That was like it was that all those things.
That's
every
awesome.
Year. Yeah, I miss the hell out of that. It's just been a long time since I've gone home for Thanksgiving.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a legitimate. We very similar. My dad's side of the family, my dad and his two sisters and the kids and everything would, after, I think it was either the day after or the Saturday after, go to the tree farm and cut it down. And there's something about cutting a tree down with your dad that is just like, you will never forget those memories.
Dude, it was such a, like, it's so funny to attach that with your dad too, because like my mom was there, but me and my dad would always want to get a Douglas fir. That's like the what the fuck,
deciduous
species?
tree.
What are like types of trees?
The genus.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
There's the Fraser fir, the spruce.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So we always
The
wanted
Bruce.
Douglas, and my mom always wanted that, the blue spruce. And every single year, me and my dad would look at each other and go, "No." And
then you would giggle and run off with the saws to the to the Douglas firs.
Yeah, we would clink saws.
Have either of you seen the movie Midsummer?
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
So as you were describing that tradition, my mind went to a dark place where you were just very visually describing it. Like, we'd go out to this place, we would get on these Clydesdales, they take us to this deep in the forest, we'd take our saws and we'd saw the leg off of a sacrifice, to celebrate, the Jesus and Santa. We'd spray his blood around, we'd get naked, dance around a fire, and we'd drink his blood, and then we'd ride the train, we'd drink some hot chocolate, and then we'd go home. It's like, I just had this really dark vision of like, we have a tradition.
I just wasn't sure if I was allowed to say that on your podcast.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I gave you guys the happy version of the Pilgrims and the Indians of my story. If you want the real shit,
we can talk about it. We can talk about what Christmas.
Dark. If you want to get dark.
Yeah,
we
man.
We brought disease to the trees.
In order to fight the disease, we must sacrifice 7 people every year.
My middle name is Douglas, after the many trees I have killed. My middle name actually is Douglas, but that has nothing to do with it.
Matthew Douglas Slayer Lamson.
Yes. My confirmation name is Slayer.
That would be a baller move if someone could pick that as a confirmation. I would love to see the kid who does that.
Agreed.
I'd be into it.
Oh my God. Dude, there was like 1 or 2 kids. What I was going to say didn't matter. Please, Justin.
No. I think there's a slight delay, so you go.
Okay, cool. This is important. There were always those kids when did you guys get your confirmation? Were you Catholic?
I mean, I don't know what any of that means.
Oh, okay. Justin, did you go through that?
I did, yeah. My confirmation, I think I've told this on the podcast before. So my middle name is Michael, spelled Mikel. It's my dad's first name is my middle name. My parents are divorced, and so to piss my mom off, I chose Michael as St. Michael as my confirmation name.
Oh, great.
So it's Justin Michael Strandland.
That's fucking great.
I was a dick.
Dude, so Doug, I guess you didn't grow up like Catholic or whatever?
I grew up in Missouri, where religion runs rampant like the rabbits. But I was not terribly religious growing up. No, surprisingly.
No, I mean, same. This was like definitely like forced upon me. Like, Justin, I'm sure you probably didn't be like, please, I want to get confirmed. Like, confirm. No. You know, it's part of like growing up in a Catholic school where first, you get baptized when you're a baby, no choice. And then later on you go through your first Holy Communion, which is when, you say sorry and they give you bread and what the fuck. And then later, you have to get confirmed. And that, I don't fucking get that. That's like, all right, it's just another step. That doesn't make any, it's like, it's seriously like Scientologists, there's like layers, This is just like level 4. Yeah. And you get to pick a new name that goes after your middle name. And, a couple of the kids that thought they were super cool picked Blaze because there was Saint Blaze and they thought that was like cool.
I didn't know there was the Saint Blaze.
Wait, so do you have to name it after a saint?
Yeah.
You have to pick it after a saint, yeah. So
that's probably wise. That you kind of have to choose from a list of names. That's probably a good idea on their part.
No, but there's like, if I had this knowledge going back in time of like, oh, I should have I don't think Google was around when I was like 9. But like there are some fucking crazy saint names. Like there's a saint named Saint Polycarp. Like I totally would have grabbed that.
Oh, I did not do my due diligence when I chose Michael.
Yeah, I think you still did a good job of doing the screw you mom, Michael. That's good.
Thanks. For the record, I love my mom. I just at that time thought this is gonna really stay. I'm gonna be a badass.
No, for the record, I love your mom too.
Wait a second. So,
whoa.
Yeah, I had a deal with my mom that, to your point,
Doug, is that okay? Okay.
Yes, that's
okay.
okay.
You said you had a deal. It was a bad joke. Come on.
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh, I get it because
stuff is stupid. Stuff is dumb. Doug hates stuff.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So back to what you were saying about not pining to get confirmed. Pine. There's another tree.
Nice. Oh, I thought you said opine, like OPINE, which is a good vocab word.
Agreed. That's what I was thinking.
All of it. So we had a deal that I had to go to church with them until I got confirmed, and then it was my choice. And so I got confirmed, and the following Sunday did not go to church.
Nice.
Nonsense.
You're
I was like,
I'm out.
Awesome.
Yeah. To Matt's point, like no one sits there and goes, very few. I won't say no one. Very few go, oh boy, I can't wait till confirmation comes up.
Dude, church is so fucking stupid.
Here's the thing, like I have such weird vibes from church, like, and because I went to like Catholic school for 2 years, and then like I don't know, it's just like we were very off and on. Like my mom is relatively religious, my dad is not. My dad's an atheist. So we went for some of the big events here and there, but I was at some point when we would go, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like we don't typically do this on a regular basis. Like this seems like, even when I was younger, I'm like, this seems like bullshit that we were going in for Christmas or Easter. I'm like, who cares? But as I got older, and it's like, I'd go to weddings, I'd go to a church, and I'm like, I'm getting this feeling that I shouldn't be here. And then when I get that uncomfortable,
my skin was burning.
In those kind of situations, I start getting extremely sarcastic to sort of diffuse the tension for myself. And I particularly remember one of my friends in college was getting married, and we went to this church, and the ones that are the worst for me are the ones that have like a lot of Jesus graffiti on the walls.
Stained glass windows?
Not necessarily stained glass windows, but there's a lot of like graffiti and stuff like painted on the walls and shit.
I've never seen a church with graffiti.
You could probably call them a mural. I call them graffiti. It's like, and this one particular thing, it's like this very ornately drawn, very specific whatever thing of Jesus like knocking on a door. And I just sat there staring at it. I remember turning to Jill, I go, what do you think he's saying? Why do you think he's knocking on that door? And then just jokes start coming out. I'm like, I bet you know what he's doing. He's like going, bitch, where's my money? Like I just start, and then Jill's like, Doug, please, you can't do that here. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. This is making me feel more comfortable because this is all absurd. We have to be in this house for people to get married. And I just start like, I can't put it all together. It makes me feel, I appreciate the fact that some people get comfort from that. I don't. I get really uncomfortable when I see a dude splayed out on a cross, mostly dead. You know, I can't do it, man. There's too much ceremony and pomp and circumstance where I'm like, I gotta get out of here, man. I can't be here. I don't feel right. It's too serious. It's too ridiculous.
Oh my God, it's so.
You think Jesus was like this? Hi, have you accepted me as your Lord and Savior?
Hey,
And
man,
he's
can I get a ham sandwich? I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's at the door wearing nothing except an American Eagle button down around his shit.
And they're like, dude, nice shirt. Wait, is that American Eagle? Ugh.
He goes, oh, fuck, you're going to hell.
Yeah, I'll tell my dad.
Yeah.
You're going on the naughty list. Like, what are you, Santa now?
There was one more tradition that my family did that I wanted to get in before we end, and it was a pretty violent one, kind of like Festivus, but it involved two people. Two of us would go into an arena, and we would fight to the death, and only one person would come out. And in our family, we called it.
Welcome to the Throwdown.
What's up?
That was awesome.
We're in the throwdown now.
We're in the throwdown now. It's like we're in the end game now. We're in the throwdown
Right.
now.
Is this a part of it? Is it what's happening?
So we end the episodes with a throwdown where we debate two people fight to the death and only one survives. You might remember it from one of your multiple appearances on our show prior.
I think I've only been on this show once, right?
I think you've been on two Chris and Matt shows. I think you guys promoted.
Wow.
One was
You
at
guys-
my house, and one was at the
Yeah.
bar of Elephant and Castle.
Man, you guys freaking love us. All right.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
I'm not Drew, okay?
Oh fuck! I keep forgetting. You are so much nicer.
Do you know he popped? I don't know if he's still here, but he popped into the chat on Twitch, and he goes, I'm just trying to scroll up and see if I can
Oh
find it again.
no! Here we
Yeah.
go. What that jokester say?
I was excited to tune in.
What that joke just say?
I was excited to tune in. Then I saw Matt. My excitement is now rage.
No, he's so funny.
Right?
So awesome.
Anyway, okay, so today's throwdown. Doug, are you ready?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure we're on the same page. Did you see that someone had requested a throwdown? One of the audience members.
So usually we don't do that. Like, do you want to call an audible and just do that today?
Well, I kind of do because what we were going to line up didn't happen.
Okay.
And what they were referring to was kind of on par with what we were talking about.
Fair enough.
So I don't mind calling an audible if you don't mind calling an audible.
I don't mind at all.
Okay.
I think actually this one would be pretty good because I feel like the three of us will be able to debate this one pretty well.
I agree.
All right,
All right.
Douglas, whenever you're ready, here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Today's throwdown is
The Grinch versus Jack Skellington.
so the Grinch, the Green Grinch versus Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right, so let's talk about powers and skills. All right, the Grinch. Occupation, hermit.
Are you still? You're still doing the voice, right?
You know, sometimes
It's good to have friends to
I
tell
didn't
you.
know. I'm like, if we're doing this, I'm in. I just don't know if you know this.
What are we all doing it?
Hey, all right, so here we go. Yeah, it's not fun it's not funny when you do it all the time, you know? Yeah. Forgot, I thought I clicked the button. I didn't. So thank you for being my friend. You've done that more than once, and I appreciate you.
Can you not hear? So you don't hear when the voice goes through?
I can do that, but it's distracting. I don't typically turn that on because I'm like, I don't want to, because I'm always on a delay when I talk. So it's just, I can't get my timing right. You'll hear me kind of go, and now the thing is, it's awful. It's not good.
All right.
The Grinch. Occupation, hermit. Powers and skills. He's got cunning. He's apparently got super strength. I guess he does since he carries all those presents. Manipulation and intelligence. The one known as Jack Skellington is flexible. He has detachability, both emotionally and physically. He has strength. He has speed. He has black magic and pyrokinesis when in his Pumpkin King form.
Shit.
Jesus. So wait, give me the Grinch again.
All right, so the Grinch has cunning, super strength, manipulation, and intelligence.
Whew. I don't know. I would go ahead, Matt, please.
I'm going Grinch.
All right, lay it on me. Why is it Grinch?
I think that Jack has a heart the whole time. You know, I think he is a good person the whole time. In a weird way, it's weird to say, but like he never has not experienced love. Whereas the Grinch has a dark place that he can take himself to, and he's also super fucking strong and has this rage that he can access. I just feel like I just see Jack as like a Raggedy Ann doll. You know, I feel like the Grinch would just fucking rip him apart.
But he does have black magic and pyrokinesis.
All right, I think I'm going Team Jack.
I imagine that if you were in the debate club in high school, this is what it would be like. Oh no, he's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch sides now. And then they bring up a point over there. Well, that's pretty good.
I'll say this much: like, you know, Jack was able to defeat Oogie Boogie in Nightmare Before Christmas. That guy was he is known to defeat evil. His alignment is good. Jack Skellington is. His alignment is good. Now, the tricky part is Jack is strong, but he's not super strong. So there's a little bit of strength there, and also doesn't say that he's intelligent and cunning. So I feel like the Grinch, if he has the proper preparation, could defeat Jack by manipulating, laying a trap, finding a way to essentially undo him. And he also has super strength, so that's pretty powerful.
We have seen the Grinch. Pick a lane, Matt. Pick a lane.
Oh, I picked both. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll pick a lane. Yeah, you say your argument, Justin. Then I'll pick a lane. We have seen Grinch take a beating because he's fallen off the mountain. He's, you know, fallen through chimneys. He gets pretty good and beat up when he's trying to create his contraptions, his heist, if you will. And we have also seen him build in his caves some pretty fantastic contraptions. So he's got like it seems as though he's got some engineering background too.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. I don't know. I said it already. I'm Team Grinch. So.
But again, I go back to magic. How, like, I don't care how strong you are. If someone's throwing magic fireballs at you, that's tough to counteract by just being strong.
Yeah, but like, can't the Grinch like throw snowballs really fast? You know, I feel like he would just like melt the fireballs. I don't know.
Wait, he would melt the fireball.
You heard me. So I said what I said, Mr. Glom. Yeah, no further questions.
Yeah, I do say the strong thing for Jack Skellington here is black magic. That is pretty vague as far as like what can be conjured. I haven't watched A Nightmare Before Christmas in a long time, but to conjure up, you know, some sort of, you know, magic is pretty powerful. And while the Grinch is both intelligent and you know, cunning and super strong, does that overtake something like black magic? You know,
how big is Jack Skellington? Like, how tall do we have?
Good question.
Stand by. Let me get a stat here. See if I can find it.
In my mind, the Grinch is like fucking huge. You know,
I don't know if he's huge. Let's say how tall he is.
I know Jim Carrey's at least 6'1", right?
But I figured the Grinch was like, you know, at least like 6'7" or some shit.
Is Jack?
You know, not huge, but like, you know, 6'7", 6'9".
I mean, what do you think when you say huge? Like 10 feet tall?
No, like 6'7" is pretty big to me because
okay.
I'm 5'10".
Like, what if some kid grew up thinking the Grinch was like 30 feet tall?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know,
God.
the Grinch monster. Yeah.
Right. The Jolly Green Grinch.
The Jolly.
Slotty did say, he goes, Jack Skellington isn't in his final form. He has 2 health bars and a transformation. Nerd.
I can't get official heights on them, but I know Jack is pretty skinny and pretty tall. My guess is that he'd be taller than the Grinch.
Really?
I would think that he's taller than the Grinch.
You know, if we don't have details about the depth of his powers, like his black magic, it's really hard to build an argument here. So without knowing about the magic capabilities, I'm Team Grinch. But if there was substantial evidence that Jack, had overwhelming mastery of the dark arts, it just doesn't matter how tall you are, how cunning you are. If you can just fucking, you get it. Then Jack wins. Yeah.
Well, he does have fire and ice magic. And
who does?
Jack Skellington. Also dark and musical magic.
Musical magic. We didn't say musical magic.
Yeah.
I didn't want to dance.
Although I guess so. Here's some conflicting information, right? Because Jack Skellington shows up in a lot of different things. One of which is the Kingdom Hearts video game, which is a mashup of Final Fantasy and Disney characters. And in that game, he uses dark magic. Whereas Tim Burton has stated on audio commentary that The Nightmare Before Christmas that Halloween Town does not possess any magic.
So are we going off Tim Burton, or are we going off of?
I feel like we're going off Tim Burton.
I feel like we have to go off of Tim Burton. So
and if there's no magic, then
yeah.
The Grinch says, "Get fucked." Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going with the Grinch then, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Grinch for the win!
Woo!
It's the Grinch, son.
It's the Grinch, son. I should also state
Really
that the Grinch has cardiomyopathy. His heart's so big. It's a problem.
It's gonna explode in any minute.
Yeah, he'll die.
But he'll win, and then at the last minute, fucking die. Yeah,
his heart will explode.
They both
Exactly.
go.
Matt, thank you so much for hanging out with us, man. This was such a fun conversation. It's so great having you back here.
Thank you guys. You guys
so
are
great.
a blast.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. This is the part of the show where we ask our guests to promote anything they got going on, promote their social medias. If you have any recommendations for a movie, a TV show, a book, music, video game, whatever you want, the floor is yours. By all means, share all your stuff with us.
Oh man, my main and number one thing is the Chris and Matt show, and it's been tough to create and perform, but take a look on YouTube. Just search Chris and Matt show, or on Facebook, just Chris and Matt. That's Chris & Matt. We're also on Instagram at Chris and Matt official. Let me just make sure how that's spelled. Chris and Matt. Oh wait, I think it's just CNM show. Let's see. I don't know why
Very
that's not
different
coming
than
up.
S&M show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a different
well,
one.
a lot of crossover, but I think it's. Let's see if I can find it. I cannot find my comedy show.
You talking on Instagram?
Yeah. Dude,
All right,
can you?
It's Chris and Matt official.
Chris and Matt official, all spelled out.
Dude, that's so embarrassing. Yeah. So follow that. We haven't posted anything since fucking September, but it's tough right now for a pimp and his pal. But I'm also, I think the two of us are just trying to post funny content on our own as much as we can too, just to keep things flowing. So follow me on it. If you follow me on Instagram, that'd be awesome. It's Matthew.Lamson. So Matthew's normal, MATTHEW, period. And then Lamson, which is my last name, LAM as in Matt, SON as in Nick. So Matthew.Lamson. And Yeah. Well, other than that, just do whatever the hell you want.
Right on, man. Right on. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
I'm going to recommend, first and foremost, The Quarantine Files, episode 8, starring Mr. Matt Lamson, MATTHEW.LAMSON, is coming out this Friday. That is the 27th, the day after things. So you're all full, you're stuffed from Thanksgiving after you've eaten at home just by yourself, not going out, and you're like, oh, what can I do today? Check out The Quarantine Files, the season/series finale. It's going to be a good one. And then also on HBO Max, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion show. If you were a fan of that show, it will give you all the smiles and the feels. So check that out. It was really cool. And they brought together the two Aunt Vivs, because in season 3 they swapped out, or end of season, the mid show, they swapped out Aunt Viv's, and there was a lot of bad blood between the first Aunt Viv and Will, and they find healing in this, and it was really cool.
I'm glad.
Just saying.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Doug, what do you got?
I recommend a game that I purchased, actually, that was recommended to me by one of our listeners at Noah Reno. It's called Guild of Dungeoneering. I don't typically like card building games or deck building games because I feel like it's just too random for me. But this game's really cool in that you build your guild with different buildings and things, and you get different types of adventurers, and then you send them on adventures, and based on the equipment that they find, it adds to your deck different abilities. It's really fun. It's actually got a really cool art style. It's got some pretty cool music, and I think it's only $15 on Steam. So I recommend it. It's really cool. Go check it out. I find it oddly soothing, and also there's an expectation that your Dungeoneers, they're gonna die, but you can get new ones. So when they die, this guy who's like pretending to be a bard will sing a little song about. He does like 4 lines and they rhyme, and it's actually really entertaining. So Guild of Dungeoneering, check it out on Steam. Highly recommend it. Oh, with that being said, gang, don't forget to follow us on our social medias, all of them at Mind Gap Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. We post full episodes there as well as highlights. And if you aren't already, come on over to twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. Drop us a like, hang out with us. We live stream all of our podcast episodes as well as our Saturday night shows. Every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, we live record our podcasts. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time. Come hang out with us. Join our Discord. Be part of the community. We'd love to hang out with you. And also, don't forget to follow Justin on the internet as well.
On Instagram and Twitter, it's at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on
Spotify
and on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all the places where you can find and consume the podcast. Like us, share us around, subscribe to us, rate, review, all those things. The big one is sharing. Just copy the link, post it out to your social universe, and tell people that you think that we're worth the listen, because it goes a long, long, long way. I don't think you understand how much a direct recommendation from you goes. So please share us around. Just like the clap, share us around. And then twoeast8th.com/mindgap. And then keep an eye on all 2 East 8th stuff, because we're inching ever closer to finishing up Sid Penrose, and then we've got the Quarantine Files last episode coming out, and then Life and Debt should be coming out after that. So trying to stay busy and release some good shit.
Nice. Matt, I just want to say thanks again, man. This was a real pleasure. You're always welcome back.
Thank you, guys. This was so much fun. You guys rock.
Oh, thanks so much. And I want to say to Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you, my friend.
Twitch, thank you.
And listeners, as always, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.